This session's big idea is about how misogyny is portrayed in Paradise Lost. By the end of this video, you will have an understanding of how misogyny is portrayed in Paradise Lost, Book 9. Understand the relationship between text and context and how language is used to portray Eve's character. So, what does misogyny mean? Misogyny is the hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women or girls. It enforces sexism by punishing those who reject an inferior status for women and rewarding those who accept it. Misogyny manifests in numerous ways, including social exclusion, sex discrimination, hostility, androcentrism, patriarchy, male privilege, belittling of women, disenfranchisement of women, violence against women, and sexual objectification. Misogyny has existed throughout history. It was noted as a disease in classical Greece. It became a common term in the English language in 2012. Misogyny can be found within sacred texts of religion, mythology, and Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy. Many misogynistic ideas have also been documented through the work of different Western thinkers such as Aristotle. Here we have Milton's use of misogyny in Paradise Lost gives the reader a reference to the patriarchal society of the 17th century and how far our world has come today. In its recognition for female oppression, the belief that women were the reason for the perdition of mankind, as suggested by Genesis, was a main ethical, theological view of Milton's age. As a matter of fact, the view is not even peculiar of Christianity. Most peoples, the Greeks in particular, had also their own Eves, nor is Milton's Eve new to the Christian tradition itself, reflecting, as she does, Lutheran and Calvinist ideas of the fall. Although the Bible portrays women in a more chauvinistic mode, even biblical writers refrain from making a direct association between Eve and evil, as Milton and certain Christian theologians do. How to use misogyny in a sentence. Misogyny is depicted from the beginning of Paradise Lost, Book 9. Eve was always made to look inferior, mentally, physically, and spiritually. In her quest to go off alone into the garden, she wanted to prove that she was capable of being alone. Had she not been made to feel inferior, she would not have felt, perhaps, the need to eat from the apple to equal Adam's intellect. However, Milton portrays a dramatic shift. Render me more equal, sometimes superior. Eve is not less in intelligence. She is curious and resourceful, especially now she has tasted the fruit. Misogyny in Paradise Lost. What examples of misogyny are there in the text? Satan has depicted Eve as being vulnerable without a man. Also, Satan devalues women's intelligence by saying that man is smarter. Her husband, for I view far round, not high, whose higher intellectual more I shun. Adam then is assuming Eve's role based on her gender, and that he has never seen anything more beautiful than a woman working at home. Nothing lovelier can be found in woman than to study household good and good works in her husband to promote. Milton here is focusing and picking up on the misogynistic views of women of the time and implementing these within the characterization of Satan and of Adam. How is language used about Eve misogynistic? Well, Eve describes and accepts her subservient position to Adam before their fall from grace. Eve understands that Adam has a direct connection to God which she does not have. In God's scheme, Adam receives God's instructions and passes them on to Eve. Through embracing her position as inferior to Adam's in the chain of command, Eve experiences contentment and earns the appreciation of God and Adam. So the depiction of Eve within that hierarchy and that chain, I suppose. The quote is, "My author and disposer, what thou biddest unargued I obey, so God ordains. God is thy law, thou mine to know no more, is woman happiest knowledge and her praise." So that goes on to say quite a lot about Eve's subservient ways and how dangerous the fall therefore became for mankind. Remember, the blame stays with Eve there. So, how does Milton challenge societal perceptions of women? Before the fall, Eve feels content with her role and position as Adam's wife and subordinate. But shortly after eating the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge, Eve's view expands and she begins to feel dissatisfied. As she reasons whether to tell Adam what she did, she rationalizes that she cannot experience true freedom if she remains inferior. So the seeds of discord between man and woman sprout once Eve eats from the tree of knowledge. But to Adam, in what sort shall I appear? Shall I to him make known as yet my change, and give him to partake full happiness with me, or rather not, but keep the odds of knowledge in my power without co-partner? So to add what wants in female sex, the more to draw his love, and render me more equal, and perhaps a thing not undesirable, sometimes superior, for inferior, who is free. Great work. You now have a secure understanding on misogyny in Paradise Lost, focusing specifically on Eve's character and the portrayal of Eve through other characters too. Now, you must go and search for the Working It Out video to help you understand this big idea and how it can link to your studies and learning. Good luck!